My name is Titilope Adewusi. I'm one of the 3 female co-founders of 9IJAKIDS, an edtech company that develops digital content for children. So what we basically do is we provide content. With COVID and everybody going online, that's really where there's a major gap. And so we bridge that gap by providing fun learning digital content that makes online learning completely effortless and a lot of fun. So this started in 2018. So in 2018, if I take a step back, I'd been saying I wanted to do something for children because my son, my younger son, is a typical digital native. He doesn't like learning. Do you understand? We're always battling, fighting with the laptop. That's all he wants to do. So one day someone said that if that's how he learns, why not provide him content, for that? And I said, wow, okay, that's actually a good thing. So I now started developing content for him to be able to use on the device. And when more people were interested, that's really how 9IJAKIDS came about. So we provide digital content. We take any subject, any topic, and just transform it into something that is fun, that children will want to learn. So now my son is the one that's always telling me, Mommy, have you done a game on fractions? Have you done a game on decimals? When I say go and do your book, say, okay, can I play a 9IJAKIDS game instead? So for him, that's, meanwhile, this is someone that before I'm always battling with. I say, go and read your book. When I say go and read your book, he's coming. I'm going to drink water. Oh, I'm coming. I'm going to the restroom. Oh, I'm coming. And then 2 hours have passed. We haven't done anything. But now, playing something that he likes on a device that he likes was just, just excellent. And that's really what brought about 9IJAKIDS. I studied engineering, so not even electrical, and computer. I actually studied mechanical, but my other partners studied computer science and computer engineering. So 3 of us came together. But I'd been an educator because I actually volunteer in church. So I've been passionate about education. I didn't know that I was going to end up here, but it's something I've always been passionate about. And the part that I'm passionate about is creating content that is fun. So I always say, how can I teach this topic in a fun way? I'm always saying, okay, let me create a puzzle. I go online, look for a puzzle maker and create a puzzle out of it. I say, okay, you know what? Maybe this is how I'm going to do it. I'm always looking for the fun angle to teaching the same subject. I don't want to bring it same old, stand in front and just, that kind of thing. Mine is, let's make it fun. Because I think about when I was young, what are the things that made learning fun for me? What are the things I still remember now? The truth is that the things I still remember now are all the things I did to fun. I tell people that, when you think of the Monopoly game and the streets of London, you only remember them because of the Monopoly game, not because someone taught you. So my idea is fun learning that makes it effortless, learning that makes children want to learn and they want to excel. And so when my son is now doing very well in school, he's like, yes, this is the secret, this is the secret. I'm not a genius. That's what he thinks now. Look about how you learned this, various countries, rivers in Africa. If I tell you, remember the rivers in Africa, I'm sure you remember them because we had this fun song. There are 7 rivers in Africa, 7 rivers in Africa, oh now, Niger, Senegal. So those are the things that we remember. Anything that our teacher taught us that was really fun. Years later, if someone asks you, you're just amazed at how much you remember it. And then with technology now, it helps us transform those fun elements, all those gaming elements. And that's really what games do. They transform the gaming element, scoring points, climbing levels. Do you understand? Dressing up, getting things for your avatar. They're all fun things that we associate with the things that we are learning. The fact that I'm doing coins, I'm doing against, playing against my mates. They're all competitions that we already do in the classroom. So the things that we already do physically, the only difference we've done is that we've made them digital. We provided them as digital content. Even me as a parent, marking my son's worksheets can be tiring. But when he's playing a game and it's a digital content, the answers are already marked. So it's stressless for me. So it's a two-way thing. I'm happy, he's happy, and we're all happy. Before I started, 9IJAKIDS with my 2 partners, what I'd done is I was working in a consulting firm. So I worked in KPMG for over a decade, risen up to the role of senior manager. And then I left and then joined a colleague that set up a fast food restaurant. So that was really my first step into the entrepreneur journey, being an entrepreneur. Before then, I'd been in corporate. But all that while, I'd done things in education. So not only that, I sit on the board of an NGO that provides free education to children in poor communities. So I'm passionate about education. So it was just a lot of my loves coming together. My passion for fun, learning. My passion for creating things. Creating content. I did that from my consulting background, creating content, and then I just added the education, the games, the gaming elements, and all those loves just came together to then form what currently is 9IJAKIDS. So what happens is that we have it on the App Store. So we have it online, we have it on the App Store. So you can download the app and then go subscribe to play the games. Select your child's age. The games are not only on academics, because when it comes to development, I believe in development of the total child. So I'm a proud Nigerian. People say, oh, 9IJAKIDS. I say, yes, I'm Naija, proudly so. So I'm always promoting things about Nigeria. So we have games that promote things about Nigeria's culture, Nigeria's food. Apart from Nigeria, I'm also about people being successful. When I look at my career, I'm saying that we need to raise up the next generation of successful people. So financial literacy is key for me. I want my children to know how to spend money. I want to retire early. That kind of thing. So financial literacy is also another thing. So we bring all that together that makes the child complete. And then lastly, values. So we're also looking at values of honesty, of integrity, of hard work. So we bring all those elements, not just the maths, the English and the science. No, it's everything together. So it's really on the App Store. So either you do it on Android or you do it on iOS, which is on the Apple Store. So you download the app, you sign up, and then your children can play any of those games. The initial idea was really not about making money, but of course, when you go into a business, then you have to make money to pay your bills. So that was really the plan. So we are sad that we had this wonderful plan. Then we now started meeting the obstacles. What were the obstacles? The obstacle was internet is expensive. A lot of people don't want to do a lot of things online. So we now have to say, we have to develop an offline version of it. Then apart from that, then people don't have devices. Devices are expensive. So maybe, okay, how do we do it so that it's both on the mobile devices, can also be online? So that was it. It was challenging. So we went to market schools, and schools were like, oh, they don't have the infrastructure for it. It was challenging. Education technology was challenging. Honestly, it was a very slow grind. I think the luck that we have is that because there are 3 partners, when one person is discouraged, the other person comes up and peps up. So it was hard at the beginning. So we had to start balancing with a lot of things. A lot of people wanted things they could take away because they don't have to. We then created an activity book version of our game, something that is hard copy. So that also helped them bring you. In business, you have to pivot, innovate. And then guess what happened? COVID happened. COVID happened, and then suddenly all the schools that were like, no, there's a physical classroom. So they didn't need technology. Technology wasn't a mandatory thing to have. Then COVID happened. And then all the talk about technology just changed. The landscape suddenly became enabling. What's so interesting? In 2020, when I started the year, when I was praying to God, I said, God, I was thinking that it was going to be a government policy that would come and create the enabling environment. I didn't know that Almighty God was going to just open the heavens, so to speak. And then that's what happened. So 2020 honestly was our best year. 2018 was like a year of struggle. I remember months that we look at the revenue and nothing has come in. We look at the revenue, we pay our staff, and we'll be the last people to be paid, and we're like, how do we hustle together? So it was tough in the beginning. There were a lot of those obstacles. Even getting parents to say there has to be fun in learning. Say, no, let him go and read this book. Each one is playing games. No, the computer is a distraction. It's a distraction. So when I see all of us now, our kids are constantly on devices, I'm amused, because in 2018 no parent was really about that. But 2020 opened up a whole new world, a whole world of a lot of collaborations. And so we have so many collaborations of people that want to now have the games in their classes, have the games on their various platforms. We've had a number of corporates that we partnered with in 2020. So 2020 was an awesome year, and we came into 2021 all excited and of the various things that will happen. there's pandemic, but I'm happy that technology is now, a front burner. We have been saying that, honestly. I tell people that when you look at all the jobs now, technology is such a key part. So you shouldn't bring up children without technology. And it can do so many things. Now, in the last, 6 to 9 months, the schools have implemented all sorts of technology, apps, learning management system, and they can see the difference. Of course, there's also the other side to it. But they can see the difference in terms of the learning. We had a library before in the school, but now with the digital library, they have access to thousands of books that you don't even have in your physical library. So technology opens, it removes all the restrictions. It has its own challenges, but it removes these restrictions. I think one of the things was about keeping an eye on the financials. So because I'd come from a consulting, auditing firm, even as the entrepreneur that I was with, my ex-boss, we were always looking at the money. So we're looking at the income, we're looking at the expenses. How are we going to pay the next bill? How is the money coming in? What products are making money? What are not? How do you cut off? I think that was really the most important thing that I took away from that you have to keep an eye on the money. I now tell every entrepreneur that you have to have these financial skills. If you don't know about money and you don't have one of your partners that do, it's going to be a major issue for you. So you need to know about the money. What's coming in? How is it coming in? What are you spending money on? Do you have money, what we call runway? Do you have money for the next 1, 2, 3 months? What if this doesn't work out? How do you keep the books? How are you funding it? It's so important you have that financial literacy. I think the second thing is about building structure. One of the things I've learned, is you have to have a structure for everything. Try and standardize everything. We have team meetings, we have templates for everything. We're having the team meetings, we're having even offer letters. A lot of those structures from corporate was what I brought. So when people see me, they're like, you are so organized. I'm like, yes, that's the background that I have in terms of managing things, ensuring there's a structure to everything, plan it, schedule it, time it, documents, even in setting up our own system and even moving remotely, and it was easier for us because we had done a lot of those things. We had meetings that we could have virtually. One person is not around and the person calls in on Zoom. So those are things we're already doing. We already had a way of communicating. We had our emails. We had things on the cloud. So a lot of those structures that we had made it easier to move, to remote learn. So that's one of the things that I took back. You have to have structure in your business. You have to keep upskilling your staff because you can't be everywhere. As you become the face of your business, it means that you're doing a lot more things than the actual operations. So when you're attending interviews, when you're going for all the marketing, you're not there in the operation. So you need to build that operation into a lot of documentation. We take time to document the process so that whoever is there knows what they need to do. And then we're always seeing what skills the staff need, how do we train them, how do we help them improve. So those are, I would say, 3 key things that help, and then just make it easier when you hit it big or when you're in the process of hitting it big. But I tell people that whatever you want to do, just start. Don't think about the money, just start. In hindsight, I converted a little store in my house to my office. So I brought out everything from the store, cleaned it up, put 2 tables and put 2 chairs, and that's where we started. Till you get to a place where you're going to pay rent. So I'll say start with what you have. Look for your first customers. I'm wiser now in terms of the next products we do. I'm already looking for who is going to buy it even before I fully produce it. So I'm like, okay, this is our next idea. But I'm saying, let me go and talk to this corporate. Let me go and talk. So it meant that in terms of money, that's really not your major hindrance, is to plan to have a goal. Start with your family and friends. The first people that I sold anything to were my family and friends. I still do it now. I write a list of 50 people that are my family and friends, and I'll start sending them SMS messages. I said, are you interested in this? Once you have that interest, then you already know the people. And I said, okay, can you prepare for it? Can you prepare for it? So that means I already have the money for it. Keep your expenses low. So when you do that, where you're not, going large, you're always looking for what's the cost-effective way of doing this thing. In the beginning, people can go and order people to come and do the videos. In the beginning, you do the videos on yourself. You get your husband or your son to hold the camera. Mommy wants to do a marketing video. So my advice to people is that don't think about the money. Think about the idea. Look for the first group of people that you sell it to. Ask them if they trust you enough to pre-market, to pre-order. So you have some of the initial money, and you know that, okay, worst comes to the worst, I have the people that will help me break even if I don't make a profit. I think keep good records. You need to keep good records. Separate your personal money. So you know everything that is coming in and everything that is going out, and see that it's balanced. But I would tell people, just start. Don't think it's not the money. If you say you want to start a salon, don't start with go rent a salon. No. Go and say 7 people that I'll be making their hair for. Who are these 7 people? Let me start to them. So I'll come to your house. Don't worry. Hey, madam, you need to buy the attachment. Send me the money. So that way you don't really have any cost. The only cost is the transport, which will be catered for by the person that makes, that pays you. So I say money is not an issue for any idea that you want to do. It's just start. It will not be perfect, but just start. When you start as an entrepreneur, you don't have all the skills. So you have for the core thing, but you don't have all the things. So you start collaborations from. I remember that in the beginning, I'll call a friend of mine who's working in a company. I say, you want to do some PP? Okay, you help me with the graphics, So I'm saying collaborations can be something as simple as that. In terms of when you don't have everything, who are the people that you can work with? And then the collaborations that we now do are other education technology companies that already have the market, but they don't have the gaming element. So recently we partnered with Gradely. Gradely is another ed company, but they prepare videos, learning videos for children. So we provide the games. We've partnered with Edvis. Edvis also provides a school management system. And we say, okay, can our games be on your platform? We keep partnering with various people that we say, okay, these people already have a platform, they already have a market, but they don't have what we have. Can we partner with them? Currently, we're partnering with Glow to have our games on, and we went live this week to have our games, on there. So we keep on looking for those partnerships. Sometimes the partnerships are not even that we are having our games on. So sometimes partnerships are, can you just garner the visibility? Our main clients are parents that have children within the ages of 3 to 13. When we first started, we were looking at parents that had the ages of primary school, so between 6 and 10. But as you have more demand, that people come and say, oh, I have a 3-year-old, so we went down to people that are in nursery school. And someone says, oh, but my child is in GSS 1, GSS 2, do you have something? Then now we've gone up to, junior secondary school. So it's really driven by the demand. And that's one of the things that we need to be careful about. When we first started, it was driven by my passion, what my son likes. But I had to sit back, get the feedback of saying, okay, I like this, but not everybody likes this. So I think one of the things that's important is that you're always evaluating who are your target market and what do they want. So a number of things are driven by what their demand is. So when we started with some of the games, people say, what about in maths, in science, in values? We have the ones that we are passionate about. We also have the ones that are being driven by the customer. So increasingly get feedback from customers, and that's so important in your business. Your business is not for you. It's something that you need to always remember. It's for your target market, and what are they saying? What are their demands? So even concerning the games, when I look at where we started to where we are now, people will say, okay, the games are too heavy to load, so that means I need to share some of the excessive graphics that I've put in there. So your customers are key. So we started with parents, and now we've moved to corporates. A lot of corporates, especially during this COVID period, saw, there was suddenly children could not go to school. They wanted to give back. They wanted to give back in providing, like a stopgap. And that opened up a new well of partnership with both, corporate organizations and NGOs. The Nigerian element is that making the learning have local context. If my child is doing an exam and they ask him, choose the odd one out, and orchard is there, he most likely would not know what it is, because the examples are made from people that those examples were relevant to that context. So that's where the Naija is, that we are teaching Nigerian child, even though we are now moving to Africa, but we are teaching the child, let's use the examples that are local. So when I'm going to give an example in maths, or when I'm going to give an example in science or in English, I'm going to first of all ensure that that example is relevant, that the child understands what it means without too much of an effort. I think the other part of it is that I just want us to be proud of who we are. Countries are not perfect, to be honest. When you think about them, they're not perfect, but they promote themselves. They promote the good part of it. I told someone that I remember the first time that I went to Dubai, I was amazed that Dubai had a place that looked like 9IJAKIDS inside Lagos Island. Because when they're promoting it, they don't go about promoting all the bad parts of it. And that's really what I wanted to do as well. I wanted to promote to the next generation the good things about Nigeria. It's not all bad news. So we have this game called Who Wants to Be a Brainiac? And I will ask you, who is the richest man in Africa? He's a Nigerian. The country that scored the first gold Olympic in football, in boxing, they were Nigerians. Who is the first person to write a novel? It was a Nigerian. So there's that thing of being proud of who you are. It's not all bad stories. And I noticed a lot of other countries do. They promote. That's why there's the American dream. So for us, it's promoting things that are Nigerian. We also want the values. When we look at Nigeria today, I'm saying what are the things that can help us change? It's also our value system. Let a child be ethical. Let a child, want to be responsible. Let a child understand the relevant values for, building our nation building, because this is where we, so to speak, have our bread and butter. And so we need to build up. So I think that those are all the Naija elements of the Naija kids. We need to build our country. I'm into nation building. I might not go out and, wave a flag and join the riot, but I'm saying I can put those values and that, patriotism in the next generation through all that we do. So they see things all around them that denotes their country and they're proud of it.
Teaching online takes creativity. Online environments can be challenging to master at first, but with a little effort and time, your students will be getting the best experience possible. With the home environment being surrounded by potential distractions, keeping students engaged, motivated, and interested in their lessons can be one of the biggest challenges online teachers face. Teaching online requires you to use completely different skill sets compared to those used in teaching in person, and it's also important to keep the process as fun as possible. The following are some tips that will guide you in making learning fun for children through digital content. 1. Present your best online self. If your students can see you via a webcam, make sure that not only do you look presentable, but the location that you're in does too. A simple background works best to eliminate any distractions. Also, your visual materials must be top-notch. Make sure your slides look clean and clear, and any videos you use are of good quality. Try changing the tone of your voice to introduce new activities or mix up the tempo of your class. Practice your storytelling skills and offer praise out loud. This can make a huge difference in encouraging your students. Also make sure that any audio clips you plan to use are of good quality. Number 2, use technology to your advantage. Teaching online comes with its challenges, but it also puts a whole load of really cool tools at your fingertips. Whether you use whiteboards, pointers, virtual games, text editors, drawing tools, file editors, breakout rooms, or screen sharing tools, you can use the technology you have to add variety to your lessons and keep students on their toes. Number 3, find what inspires your students. The good news is, just like in any face-to-face classroom, the real key to getting your online students involved is to find out what inspires them and give them reason to be engaged in the classroom. Number 4, keep it interactive. In a face-to-face class, it's typical to give students some quiet reflection time to work alone or read a text. But these kinds of activities don't translate well in online classrooms. Planning activities that keep your students actively clicking, typing, or talking throughout the lesson is the way to go. You can do this by asking lots of questions, including games, and making sure learners have to physically do things like use drawing tools or type in the dialog boxes. Number 5, break down the lesson. It's a good idea to keep a fast pace and break down information into small, easily digestible chunks. This means to steer clear of lengthy explanations and slides with too much text.
That thing of the grass is always greener on the other side. I have a lot of people that have relocated, that's jackpot, so to speak. But they tell you the truth. They tell you how hard it is. They tell you the fact that yes, they will never be looked on for the promotion because they are black skin. They have the passport. But in the end, when we go to our offices, it's not you don't actually bring out your passport, let me know what country you're from. It's your skin color that immediately tells you where you're from, so to speak. So it means that the grass greener on the other side, it's grass greener on the other side with commas. Meanwhile, I know people here in Nigeria that have done awesome things. I know people that have a lot of, grass to riches stories that have made it in this country. So for me, I'm like, we can make it here. It's tough. Yes, it's tough, but it's not easy anywhere else. It's not easy anywhere else. It's tough everywhere else. But people that make it against the odds. I mean, look at the story of Tyler Perry. He's in the same great American, but when you listen to his story, it's a story of against the odds. So Nigeria too is a story of against the odds, to be honest. But are people making it? Yes, people are making it. We have outliers. We have the outliers of the likes of Dangote, but we have other people that started. Look at the banks. When I was growing up, it was only First Bank and Union Bank. Then a new generation of people came and built banks. Look at telecoms. When I started work, I was so junior, I didn't have a mobile phone. Even when mobile phones came out, because it was 30K. But look at it now. So people are building things in Nigeria, making a difference, building the economy. Financial, all sector is now not the only major thing. Financial sector is reigning, telecoms is reigning, because people stayed here to build. And that's what I believe, that if each of us take our own corner and build, then there's hope for this country. If we all run away, then, but this is the place where we are home. This is the place where we are first-class citizens all the time. This is where your money matters when you've arrived. Do you understand? With no comma. So let's stay and build it. I believe that if we stay, we build it, it will be a Nigeria that we're proud of. Like I said, when you start, it's tough. You need to start and say, what do I need? The things I don't need money for. So like I said, when I started, there was the one storage in our house that I sorted out all the stuff, through all the things, just got 2 tables and chairs and started that way because I didn't want to pay rent. So even when I started renting, so this place that I rented the first year, because we actually live in the front part of our house, so my office is at the back. The first year I told my husband, I'm not going to pay you no rent. So what's my business? I said, no, he's lost income. I said, that's your business. Your investment in it. So that was, but I said I wanted to be an ethical business. I want to do everything right. So I found a list of all the things I need to do. I found out about, payee. I have to pay, you have to pay your taxes. So I said, okay, how do, in terms of taxes, I have to do pension. When I said, yeah, pension. When I just wanted to pay the salaries, I found that I had to business develop. So I think what I did, like I said, you have to really have financial skills. I went and said, what's in terms of the taxes? Spoke to a friend of mine that's a tax consultant and said, in terms of structuring the salary, how can I structure the salary such that I'm adhere to all the things, but we are paying that. The pension, what do I need to do? So she then told me how we needed to structure the salary, because pension is based on the particular amount and your taxes as well. So, that's the first thing. So you need to know all that your business, that's what I'm just saying, in terms of registering your company, when we first started, our company was a business name. So we just started to register the business name first. And then when you register the business name, it means that there's some taxes you don't have to pay. But as you grow as a business, to be able to do business with other people, to get investors, then you have to transition. So you need people to help you. That's the point I'm very. Don't go for anyhow. My friend was a consultant, tax consultant, PWC. I'm not. So when I need expert advice, I don't penny pinch. I may not be able to pay. Do you understand? Or that we need to do it for you. Oh, Titi is just starting out. So you need to find out those factors. This is Titilope Adewusi, and our app, 9IJAKIDS, is 100% Naija made.